You'll first want to remove the handle from the upper arm, taking out this main bolt here. That's going to require a 6mm Allen wrench and a 17mm standard wrench. Using a 5mm Allen wrench, remove the 2 bolts that attach the bottom crossbar from the rack. And they should look like that. Next, you want to pull the pop pin and slide the roller off of the rack. Now we'll slide the handle by pulling the pop pin and taking it all the way off the rack as well. With the handle off of the rack, take your 6mm wrench and remove the main pivot bolt. Take the parts off. Using the 5mm Allen wrench and the 13mm wrench, we're going to take the next pivot bolt off. Next, we're going to unthread the adjustment knob and remove it all the way. Now, using a 4mm Allen wrench and a 10mm standard wrench, we're going to remove these 2 bolts here. And remember the orientation now. You want to switch it to the other side. So what you're trying to do is you want to move this L so that it goes this way. If you don't do that correctly, then you'll have to do it over again. So pay attention to which way it's pointing and then make sure you flip it to the other side. Put the Allen wrench into the bolt and then your wrench into the nut on the back side and unbolt it. You got to reach the wrench all the way in there to that one back there. I find it easy to, when you put it in, kind of put some pressure down on the wrench and with that same hand hold the tube. And it takes a little bit of a feel, but you can do it. And then pull that next bolt out. The best way to reassemble this is to make sure that you slide the nut, and you'll notice the nut has kind of a narrow side and a wider side. You want the wider side facing towards the holes. The other side has a nylock ring inside there, and it would be really hard to get the screw to start there. So flip it over so that it is on that side right there. And then line it up with the hole so that you can see the nut, the hole of the nut. Finger tight to just get it started. Again, make sure that you have oriented this correctly. And now you want to put your wrench inside, find the nut, snap it over the top of the nut, tighten it down. Slide the nut into the, until it finds the hole. Line everything up. Finger tight. Put the wrench over the nut. Now you're ready to reassemble all of the parts back onto the closing arm. All right, first step is to thread the adjustment knob back into the arm structure. Okay, now we're going to assemble the handle onto the closing arm. Basically, you first want to put a washer, then the handle, then the next washer, and then the handguard. Put a bolt through all of those. And then put the nut on the back side. This is a quick update. We want to change so that the nut faces the front side instead of the back side. So actually the Allen head will be on the back side and the nut facing the front. This will help avoid any contact with the rack. The next thing you want to do is assemble to the slide, pop pin slide here. And for this piece, you want to go handle guard. Underneath the handle guard, slip a washer in there. So it'll go handle guard, washer, handle, another washer, and then you have your spacer, the wide washer. So that's the order there. Looks like this. And then you go ahead and mount that right into the lower slide. Everything should be finger tight to initially start all the bolts into the nuts, because you don't want to cross thread anything. And then go ahead and tighten it down with your 6mm wrench. You want it snug enough that there's a little tension there. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and tighten down with the 5mm wrench, and the 13mm will tighten down the other bolt. All right, we're going to slide the handle back onto the rack. Make sure that the handle is facing to the outside of the rack. You need to pull the pop pin and slide this into position until you hear it click. And there we go. Next, you want to put the roller back on. Same process. Line it up with the tubes. Pull the pop pin, slide it on, click it into position. Now we want to reinstall the upper compression arm to the closing arm. So again, we need to put the washers back in place and the 10mm bolt. So we are going to line those up, put the first washer spacer in, slide the next one in underneath, back that bolt out a little so it can get in there, push it in, 17mm wrench for the nut, 6mm Allen for the bolt. Tighten it down. Okay, the final piece we need to assemble is the lower cross unit here. You want to put the bolt on the end of your Allen wrench so that it kind of supports it and it can be held horizontally. Push it through, get it through the hole there, line everything up, and then hand thread it in a little bit. You just want to thread it in maybe 4 or 5 turns, not too far. You want to have it really loose so that the other side will be easy to do. All right, and then same thing on the other side. You want to find the hole and then hand tighten it. If it doesn't go in real easy on the first try, kind of jiggle it around. You don't want to cross thread it. So that one went in pretty nice for me. Sometimes they have to have, you have to move the bar around a little bit, make sure you're getting a nice straight angle on the bolt. Tighten those down and you're all set. So in this video, we moved the handle from the left side of the rack over to the right side of the rack. You may also wish to move the handle the other way, so the same procedure is required. You just need to reverse the way you flip the handle over here. So for most people that are wanting to install a rack on a driver's side, for the driver's side, you'd want to put the handle on the left side. And for a passenger side, you'd want to put the handle on the right side, so that way it's easy to access from the outside of the truck bed.